Hey there, feel the fear and do it anyway. This self-help classic has empowered countless individuals to overcome their fears and live a more fulfilling life. So grab a cup of coffee, hit the like button, and let's dive into the key takeaways. This is an excellent book that gives you all the answers to never fear anything again. It's brilliant, it's easy to read, and I really believe that all health books or stress relief books have taken their inspiration from this book. I bring you the tips from Susan Jeffers' book today, and at the end you'll see that everything comes together and you'll have all practical steps to avoid feeling fear or stress ever again. And if you're inspired by this summary, do grab the book because honestly, it takes less than a day to read. Susan has many true life examples in the book that underpin her message, and the book is really brilliant, and I'm sure you can also find it as an audiobook. Anyway, it was written many years ago, so I think in 1987, but it's still so up to date. Let's kick into it. We're talking about understanding fear. And Susan Jeffers, she kicks off the book by telling us that part of fear is the natural part of life, but how do we deal with it? Let me give you an example. Imagine someone considering a career change. It's scary, right? Well, Jeffers advises that we embrace the fact that fear will always be there as long as we continue to grow. It's not about making fear disappear, but recognizing it as a sign of growth. She provides practical advice and powerful strategies to help you confront and conquer your fears. So the book is divided into several parts, each offering valuable insights and tools to navigate the challenges that fear presents. So she opens the book, as I said, by addressing the nature of fear. She asks many of her students what do then other people as well, what they do fear. And even though they all come up with different answers, behind those answers, it seems that everyone is afraid of something, first of all. And the underlying reason is always the same. They're afraid of rejection, of helplessness, of disapproval, of loss of image, or being vulnerable. And at the end of the day, what this really means is that they're afraid of not being able to handle a specific situation. You can't handle illness, you can't handle making a mistake, you can't handle getting old, being alone, and so on and so forth. So the truth is then, or this is what she says in the book, that if you knew you could handle anything that came your way, what would you possibly have to fear? And the answer is nothing. It introduces the idea that fear is a natural part of life and that the goal is not to eliminate it, but to change our relationship with it. So she presents 5 truths about fear, emphasizing that fear is just a feeling and not a fact. So by understanding these truths, readers can begin to recognize and accept fear as part of their journey. Honestly, understanding these truths, it can be a game changer in how we approach challenges. So these 5 truths, I'll present them to you now. The first one is fear will never go away. Of course, this is not what you were expecting. She emphasizes, I said, it's part of life, it's part of personal growth, fear. And waiting for fear to disappear before taking action is counterproductive. Accepting that fear will always be present allows people to move forward despite its presence. So in the book, she provides an example of a woman who's contemplating a career change. This woman has fear because she doesn't want to leave her secure job for an uncertain path. So she's unhappy in her job, but at the same time, she doesn't know if she changes what she might meet. So by applying the first truth about fear, which is that fear will never go away as long as I continue to grow, she encouraged the woman to see fear as a natural part of the journey and the growth process. So instead of expecting fear to vanish, she suggests acknowledging it and moving forward despite its presence. And the second truth that she presents is the only way to get rid of the fear of doing something is to go out and do it. So she suggested the best way to overcome fear is to confront it directly. By taking action and facing the things we fear, we gain a sense of control and confidence. What she also says in the book that when we're speaking about fear here, I mean, it's not going out and jumping off a cliff or something like that, or doing something that's dangerous for yourself. Here we're speaking about fear of losing your job, fear of changing careers, fear of illness, and those kind of fears. And then the third point is the only way to feel better about yourself is to go out and do it. So She highlights the link between self-esteem and taking action. If you're able to accomplish tasks, even small ones, it contributes to positive self-image. The act of doing builds self-confidence. And here, I think that if you also read the book Atomic Habits, it speaks about small habits that you are able to build over time, which then gets to something much bigger. Not only are you afraid when facing the unknown, so is everyone else. And I think that often we think that we're the only one that fears whatever it is, and everyone else feels very comfortable about it. And maybe about the same thing, someone else might feel comfortable, but everyone fears something. So this truth acknowledges that fear is a universal experience. Everyone at some point feels afraid when stepping into the unknown. Realizing that others share similar fears can be comforting and normalizes the experience. In the book, she gives an example of, I think it was a mayor in a state in New York, who, was very familiar with speaking to people and had an authoritative position. However, he was challenged to do some dance contest and he didn't know how to dance, and he thought that was so intimidating and that was really difficult, but so he had to go out there and face his fear. So I think that it's really good if you think that everyone faces fear in different moments, but fear exists for everyone. And then the last point which she speaks, or the last truth of fear that she pinpoints, is pushing through fear is less frightening than living with an underlying fear that comes from a feeling of helplessness. And I think this is really what you feel when you don't do anything. You keep procrastinating about it. You really don't feel better. It doesn't improve that you don't do whatever you need to do. She argues that the long-term effects of not confronting fear, such as a feeling of helplessness, they're more detrimental than the temporary discomfort of facing the fear, doing the public speaking, getting onto stage and dancing in front of people. Taking action and pushing through fear leads to a sense of empowerment and accomplishments. Thus, these truths form the foundation of Jeffers' approach to dealing with fear and are central to the philosophy presented in her book. In the second part of the book, she provides practical strategies for moving beyond fear. She emphasizes the importance of taking responsibility for our lives and choices. So there she introduces the concept of the no-lose model, encouraging readers to shift their mindset and view challenges as opportunities for growth. So imagine someone dreaming about starting their own business, but they're paralyzed by the fear of failure. She encourages us to shift our mindsets. Even if the business doesn't go exactly as planned, the experience gained is invaluable. So it's about reframing the situation and embracing every outcome as a win. So here, positive affirmations become a key tool in replacing negative thoughts with empowering beliefs, fostering a proactive and courageous mindset. The last part of the book introduces specific techniques to turn fear into power. So there, Jeffers explores visualization, affirmations, and the importance of expanding our comfort zones. She encourages readers to focus on the present moment and take small, manageable steps towards the goal. The importance of living in the present moment is highlighted, along with the idea that every experience, regardless of the outcome, provides an opportunity of learning and growth. This is this technique of visualization through an example of a person afraid of public speaking. Instead of dwelling on the fear, she encouraged the person to visualize themselves confidently and successfully delivering a speech. By repeatedly visualizing positive outcomes, the fear associated with public speaking diminishes, and the person is more likely to approach the situation with confidence. Jeffers emphasizes the transformative power of visualization in turning fear into a catalyst for positive action. Feel the fear and do it anyway is not just a book, it's a guide to living a more courageous and fulfilling life. Her timeless wisdom continues to inspire individuals around the world to face their fears head on and take action. So if you're ready to transform your relationship with fear, I highly recommend that you pick up a copy of this book. The key takeaway is that fear is not the enemy, but rather it's our response to it that matters. By changing our mindset and taking positive action, we can navigate fear and embrace a life of greater empowerment and fulfillment. There's a story in the book of someone who's very afraid of pursuing their passion for painting due to fear of criticism. By applying the principles outlined in the book, the individual shifted their focus from the fear of judgment to the joy of expressing themselves through art. The example illustrates the transformative power of changing one's perspective on fear, leading to a more fulfilling and authentic life. If you enjoyed this summary and want more content like this, don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and share your thoughts in the comments. Also, let me know if there's a specific book you'd like me to cover in the next video. Until then, remember, feel the fear and do it anyway. Thanks for watching. I'll catch up with you in the next one.